everybody and welcome. My name is Eric and today I'm going to be reviewing the Honda BF2.5 outboard motor. So far I've been able to take it twice on the water and I want to go through a few pointers, what it does, what it doesn't do, and what it's like. So let's get right to it. Now this little engine, brand new, can cost you between $700 to $900 depending on where you get it from. Getting it used, this specific model, this is the 2016-17 model, is rather difficult because from what I understand, most people that purchase them, they don't want to get rid of them. They usually keep them either as their main little motor for a small dinghy boat or inflatable, or as a backup motor because it's reliable. It's a reliable little engine. Now, there's a few things I want to go with. This is an air-cooled engine. It's not water-cooled, so you don't have to worry about flushing the system at all. I mean, you do want to rinse it, whenever you go to seawater, do rinse it, and it's just a good idea. I personally like to get a little cotton swab and get some WD-40 and put a little small film around the bolts, because these bolts, from what I understand, are known to rust over time. So I like to put a little bit WD-40 in it. So let's take a look at the inside. Here are the components inside: spark plug, air filter, the gas. Now before you, it has a nice neat little system. It actually I keep this motor in my room, as a matter of fact. I keep it all sealed on off. You don't smell gasoline at all. But then whenever you want to go on, you want to make sure you put it on, and it's an off mode right here. It closes it. And on the side, it'll have the gasoline off or on. It lets the gas into the little carburetor as well. On the other side, you have the indicator of oil. You always want to have it within the line. It's a small little blue line there. You get to see, I don't know if you're able to see it. You want to keep the oil within that line. And here's where you actually, the drain plug for the oil. Here at the bottom is what you actually put in and drain the gear oil. Since this engine is brand new, you're supposed to run it for about 10 hours or so before you actually change the oil, because that's the break-in period. It's 10 hours. So far I've only done about 4 hours on this little motor, so I still got about 6 more hours of break-in period. Once I do that, I'm gonna make a video how to change the oil and the gear oil as well. So that's coming up once I finish the break-in period. Now I'm gonna show you guys what it sounds like, how to turn it on, and everything else. Now, in order to turn this engine on, since it's cold right now, first thing you want to do is make sure you put the gas cap on. Make sure you turn the gas on the carburetor. Making sure that your fail-safe cord is installed, so otherwise it won't turn on. The second thing here, in the throttle, you'll notice that there's a little symbol that says here start. You want to make sure you put that little line on start. Pull in the choke. And now we're gonna turn it on. And put you guys right here. But there's not too much sun. There we go. Now, since this engine is actually air-cooled, it's quite loud, as a matter of fact, so expect that. But again, the convenience of not having water pumped and anything like that, it's actually pretty good. And now that you guys seen the majority of the engine, now I'm gonna go to a local lake and show you guys how it runs and everything else. One more factor that I forgot to mention is, if you happen to have this a stand for it for some reason, you want to lay it down on the floor, on the left hand side, depending on what how you're looking at it, it could be the left hand side or the right hand side, you want to look for these stubs right here. this one, and this one. That means you can lay it down on its side. So when you load it up in the car or your truck, you can lay it up on that side and it won't leak any oil into the carburetor. Now keep that in mind. Basically, you want to lean it on the side that doesn't have the handle, and you should be just fine. If you happen to lean on the other side, oil's gonna get in the carburetor, it's gonna leak out, it's gonna be a mess. You have to clean that up. It's a mess. Thankfully, they engineered it properly so you can lean it on one side without having any issues. And I had it on my room for about a week on that side. Not a single problem, no smell of gasoline at all. It was perfect. So I just want to mention that because I completely forgot about it. Anyway, onto the lake. I'm at Lake Tahoe near my home in Kissimmee, Florida. And right now I'm going to show you guys what this motor can do. I also brought my drone with me, so I'm going to go up in the air and show you guys what the different speeds do. You know, how it drives, so you can see the velocity. You will not get more than 7 to 8 miles per hour on this little motor, especially with this setup that I got. I got a Saturn SK396 cabote. It's an inflatable. It's a pretty neat one. Done lots of stuff with it, and we're gonna get right to it. Right now I have it about half power, moving along just fine, about 3 or 4 miles per hour. This is not bad at all. Moving along just fine. This is my preferred speed. It's right below half. It's like a nice cruising speed. I've done like 2 hours on that speed and you don't run out of gas, because this has about a 1 liter gas tank. At full speed you get about 40 minutes, but in this speed you get over 2 hours just fine cruising around the lake. It's fantastic. The way I have it running right now, I can steer with my weight. I lean on one side and it goes to the right. I lean to the left and it leans to the left. I love it. I'm gonna go towards the middle of the lake and get ready to shoot the drone in the air. Okay, right now I'm about in the middle of the lake. It took me a couple minutes to reach it. I mean, it's not a very fast boat and motor, but it gets the job done pretty well. Right now what I want to do is I want to give you guys a perspective. I'm going to set up the drone stationary in the air and pass by in slow speed, medium speed, and high speed, so you have an idea what it would look like in a dinghy boat or an inflatable. So I'm going to get to it right now. And those were the aerial perspectives of how fast you can go and how it looks like. Again, I personally prefer the speed right below medium because it doesn't make much difference than the super high speed one. I mean, 4 miles per hour is plenty, to be honest, you know, especially if you're just chilling and relaxing. And one more thing, this motor has what they call a centrifugal clutch, which means you don't engage the clutch manually. You engage it when you throttle. Check it out. You give it a little bit of throttle, and it engages automatically. Now, I checked online. A lot of people don't like it. Some people do like it. Personally, I don't mind it. Well, primarily, I think it's because this is my first outboard motor, gasoline one. I mean, it's convenient. I don't find any problem with it. Plus, I got a paddle. If I had to go to small, tight places where the motor doesn't reach, or I had to use very little power, I use the paddle. If you're about to dock and you don't want the bottom of the propeller to hit the floor, you can just push the engine forward like so, and it clicks. And it has a little clicker right here that if you actually remove the gas tank out of the way, if you release it, it goes back down. And the engine is back in place. Pretty cool. like that. And you close it. And if you want to carry the engine with one hand, it has a nice handle as well. So you can just carry it like that. Right now I just came back from the lake, and right now I'm leaving the engine to be on because I'm not planning to use it for a couple of weeks, perhaps a month. And you don't want to keep the engine with gasoline in it because it gums out, and then it's a pain in the ass. You have to get apart, clean out the carburetor. You don't want to do that. So if you plan to keep the motor stationary for a little while, several weeks, months, just run the gasoline completely dry and you should be fine. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.